Well, how's it going, everybody? We have a full stack panel, as you can see here. It's fully loaded with a lot of amazing communities ranging from K-pop to games to APAC DAOs to many other games and other entertainment as well, too. So let's go down the line with a quick, short intro. We'll start with you.
Sure. My name is Joseph, co-founder of MODHAUS. MODHAUS is a K-pop startup who wants to be a game changer in this industry using blockchain technology. We are an entertainment agency and a platform company. We have two artists, Triple S and Artemis, and also we developed and operating Cosmo, the Gate, which is an application for K-pop community fans.
Amazing. I'm a fan of Triple S, I have to say. Hi, everyone. My name is Jess. I'm the CM of Hooked Protocol. We're the world's biggest Web3 education and entertainment network, aiming to bring the next billions people onto Web3.
Hey, guys. I am Jason. I'm the president of blockchain for Gala. We originally started out kind of in gaming, and we've expanded through all of the entertainment verticals, and we are now a leading L1 protocol. So check out what we're doing.
Sawadika. Hello, everyone. Good morning. My name is Nicole. I'm the co-founder of APAC DAO. So we are a Web3 community in Southeast Asia with over 2,000 members, a very robust and dynamic community of builders, as well as gamers, and also like developers as well. So very happy to connect with you and see what we can do with Southeast Asia after this.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kevin. I'm the CBO of Memeland. For those of you who don't know, Memeland is actually the Web3 arm of 9gag. We've been in the Web2 for over 15, 16 years. Memeland, we have our own NFT and token community. We have over 10 million users in our Web3 community, and nice to see everyone.
And hey, everybody, my name is Justin, the moderator here, founder of DCENTRAL. DCENTRAL Conference hosts a lot of big Web3 communities worldwide, from Tokyo, Miami, hopefully Bangkok soon, Singapore, and many other places as well. And just all about building communities. And this panel is really about talking about how NFTs or different communities are utilizing NFTs in the past to kind of build their fanship, their user base, or even just getting different members on there too. So I guess we can go down the line, kind of get everybody like kind of an update on kind of the state of how you guys are utilizing NFTs and how you're interacting with the community.
For us, we developed our NFT in photo card format, which is familiar to K-pop fans. And this is ERC-721, and we also drop non-transferable ERC-20 so that you can use it for voting rights. So each voting events, you can participate in deciding next album, title song, or unit members of Triple S. So that's how it works, and we realize it with the utility, and that was the differentiation point that we can speak up.
And because our focus is to educate the general masses on what Web3 is, and education by nature, it could be dry and tedious. So we're trying to make a way that you feel like you're a part of a community, and then you feel like you're owned the part of your journey. So this is where the NFT comes in for us to create something that's uniquely yours, that denotes your education journey on chain. Because many people come into this space through different ways, right? You might get in through DeFi, you might get in through NFT, you might get in through someone airdrop you something. So our utilization of NFT is twofold. One is for your own sentimental value, because it's uniquely yours, right? Whatever you unlock along the journey is different from the other. So that's something for your own kind of like certificate of your education, so to speak. And the other is more for community values, right? Like you can compare with others. It is almost like an emblem of a tribe, like which camp do I belong to? Who am I competing with? Who have I met along this journey? So that aspect is a little bit more external, a little bit more social building. So we're really utilizing the duality of NFT in this space.
I mean, we could talk about NFTs and things like that. And, for me, though, I think the most important thing really is the community behind all of it. In Web3, we're nothing without community. And this is something that's absolutely critical to us at Gala. And yes, of course, we have ERC-721s and ERC-20s and, a variety of different tokens and digital game items and music and film pieces and all of that. But ultimately, at the end of the day, blockchain and everything that is part of it is really just a tech layer for community involvement. And at the end of the day, the best blockchain is the blockchain that is invisible, because we shouldn't need to interact with these things and feel, oh, these are NFTs, because, honestly, for the average Web2 user, and this is something that when you're dealing with education is really important, the average Web2 user has no idea what the hell you're talking about when you say NFT or, token. They just have a thing and they want to play with their thing and they want to be, happy with that. So ultimately that's what it is at the end of the day.
So full disclosure, we haven't used NFTs in our community yet. We are not even a DAO yet. So we're actually like a network of companies and builders in the space. What I see with NFTs, and I mean, there's so much innovations with Web3. So I mean, maybe the next thing might not be NFT, it might be something else. But to me, we don't want to use NFT as a sort of gating. And I think I had to use your words about tribalism, because we don't want to kind of differentiate people before they come into the community, because Web3 community is still relatively small. We think about maybe like a couple of maybe thousands, actual engaging kind of community members. So for us, given the diversity of our community, because we have both, we have developers, we have users, we have builders in the community as well. So we want to be able to use either NFT or something else. Number one is to profile the members, know what they want, and to offer what they need. Because, at the end of the day, still it's a community, but we want to offer something relevant to the members. Number two is something that we can use as a proof of contribution, just to make sure that, of course, when you come into the community, you enjoy the perks in here, and then you will be able to show that you are also part of the community, meaning that you can contribute something, either content, engagement, or events, or anything that might work. And I think the last part, of course, is about engagement as well. So once you have, we are Asians, we love acknowledgement, we love trophies, merchandise, anything that will give you some, kind of, like title or acknowledgement that you are part of the community. So I think whether it's something else, but I think with community, it's about actually providing something relevant to the community. So profiling, engagement, as well as the contribution. So that would make up, I think, like not just a good Web3 community, but any kind of a community that makes sense to everybody.
For Memeland, it's actually quite important, because back then, 3-4 years ago, the NFT community was much more healthy, to say. We really built our community off the three NFT collections we have. So the MVP, the potato, and the captains. And we sort of used that to actually start the community building, start from ground up. Obviously, by rewarding different users with different NFT level, that helps a little bit. And also, obviously, the ultimate thing we did was when we did a token sale, the fire sale, the NFT holders got a lot more reward when they have that on hand. So it was good for that, but obviously now is a very, very different landscape already. Obviously, I don't think we can do the same play even if we wanted to again. So I think it's just keep evolving over and over for the past months and days.
I think that's kind of a follow-up question, I guess. I guess we start with you again. How was the transition from like the Web 2 to Web 3 side, and is there kind of new learnings that you guys kind of learned, the differences now from interacting with the Web 3 community, and how would you maybe go about it a little bit differently? And we can go down the line as well too for anybody that wants to answer that, maybe even from the K-pop perspective and community and education side as well too.
How we see it for Web 3 community, they want to get reward before they get even started. So that's a really big different, I would say shocking.
Free stuff. Can I have some free stuff, please? Win drop, win Binance.
Win pump.
I don't know how many bot we try to block
do something
out every day. They just want like freebie. But obviously we understand that everyone in the community is looking for reward or something to get out of it, and which is fine. We all grow together. But I think the patient level is extremely low in the Web3 side, and the reward they expect is never ending. So I think that's the biggest difference between coming to Web 2 and Web 3. Web 2, obviously, there's still interaction, but it's a lot more mild. People understand, they come in, they read, they watch video, and they do a little bit of engagement, they in and they're out. So they don't expect to gain like revenue or anything out of that. But here in Web 3, they want a paycheck every day when they come on your Discord.
Win Roy.
But I have to say it's not unique to Web3. Actually, it's funny because how our company started, we were actually coming from a team of Web2 user growth hack team back in Silicon Valley. Our founding team is from Meta, Google and Uber. I have to say back in the Uber days, how do you get people to ride it? You give them substantial discounts. It's almost like I'm paying you for your ride. It's like too quiet to go for like 15 kilometers. It doesn't make any economic sense, but that's how you get people on board in the first place. So you need some kind of like a sweet taste in the beginning. And we actually deploy all of those learnings from Web 2 to Web 3 because we don't really have to reinvent a wheel when it comes to human nature. It's like people love free stuff. People love cool things that they can brag about on their WeChat moments or IG wheels. For example, we got people to ride around with the monk driving in the car where Shaolin Tzu's from in China. It unlocked one of the biggest ride shares. So we borrow a lot of those Web2 learnings into Web3, like how to make it cool, how to make it talkable or memeable in this space. It's just happening at a much faster speed. But I have to say the one difference is a lot of people in Web3 expect to be a part of the products. For example, if you ride an Uber, you don't expect users to say, yo, can you change your car to this color tomorrow? Can we have a Hello Kitty sticker on the windshield tomorrow? But in the Web3 community, they actually do. They were like, oh, hey, can I have this and that? And then they expect it to happen. If you don't, they would do it themselves. And then there will be a voting in the community, and then that would actually happen. So we're actually leveraging a lot of this energy into our new NFT collections.
I think that's a really interesting thing that you mentioned there when you talk about taking learnings from Web 2 and bringing them into the Web 3 space. I've been in blockchain for a really freaking long time. And it's been very interesting to watch the evolution from, here we are, we're these little tiny groups of super, super agitated people on Telegram fighting with each other, building little projects. Eventually, before NFTs were even conceived of, we started having, these little groups, these little communities would build up. The companies that were started during this time period were very amorphous and blobby, I guess. The sort of businesses that were for a really long time prevalent in the Web3 space were not what anyone in the Web2 world would consider a serious business, right? And I think that that's one of the challenges that existed for a long time. And even us at Gala, we started out, sort of in one form and have evolved and evolved and evolved and continue to evolve. And in some cases borrow learnings from, Web 2 and bring those learnings of, how to run a business in a more rigorous fashion into Web 3. Sometimes this is a pain in the ass. It is a painful, stupid process sometimes, but there's always interesting things to learn. And I think that sort of the final form of this Web3 space is when we eventually get to the point where community and business are fully integrated in one another. And DAOs I think are a very important part of this. And education is obviously a huge part of it. Because if your Web3 community doesn't understand the needs of a Web2 business that actually has to pay the bills, it creates problems, right? And this is where that, win Roy, pay me now mentality begins to cause issues. It's like, well, guys, we have to build a stable economy. If we don't build a stable economy, this doesn't work, right? And so it's really interesting to kind of go through this constantly evolving process of borrowing from Web 2, bringing it into Web 3, giving a Web 3 spin to a Web 3 discipline, or Web 2 discipline. It's an evolving process, and it's something that I think that all of us can learn from.
For us, since we were targeting K-pop fans, we haven't emphasized that this is a Web3 project, but we wanted to K-pop fans to get to know about this step by step. So we used Rampo Wallet, which you can easily sign in with your email address. So we focused on the designing UI UX for K-pop fans who can use it freely, and that was I think that's how we build our community based on the K-pop fans.
Just want to quickly pick up on the convergence between Web 2 and Web 3 because I might be the most Web 2 person in the panel. Plus, potentially, because I think there's still a lot of money in the Web2 space that we haven't been able to channel into Web3. And let's say, given the NFTs and the current, let's say, some of the adoption and pilot from the tech companies, I think pretty much what they want to do is to create another extra layer of experience for the existing users. So I think, of course, we can have all of the NFT hypes and, kind of a plethora of ideology around how this is going to change the world. But at the end of the day, it's going to be about creating more experience for their users and how to get more users into this space. So that's how a lot of these like Web3 tech giants are trying to do with NFTs. And, a lot of the experience that they are doing pretty much, they are trying to, of course, I think onboard their current users in a very steady pace. So pretty much, of course, you have the Web 2.5, people can still redeem stuff, people can still, collect the virtual coins, but eventually they can still interact with the idols, they can still interact with the artists. And moving forward, there might be a day when we actually don't need any kind of physical interactions anymore and everything is going to go virtual. But at the end of the day, it's still about user acquisition, creating more user experience, better user experience for the users. Number two is, like my friend here also raised a good point about DAOs, because I think there's a lot of narratives around communities, especially with public goods funding in Web3. That can be an enticing narrative as well for a lot of the Web2 business out there. So we are hosting Funding the Commons in Bangkok this November next to DEF CON, which I think it's also like one of the first time that we have like a hackathon conference just about public goods and how we can actually bring both Web2 and Web3 people in one room to speak about what kind of innovations that can work to do more education, to do more community building, and to provide more public goods and do more funding as well. How we can support these projects financially to create some sort of impact. So I mean, impact here is not something gigantic. It's not something that we talk about with United Nations or SDG. It's something at, very close to our daily life, how you can educate your community, use the products wisely, kind of protect yourself against these sort of hackings that happen every day. So it can be something very small, very, close to your heart, everyday impact. But eventually, if you're going to be thinking about it every day, I think that aggregately, that's going to create some sort of compound impact. And that will mean that we can get more people into the Web3 space and, of course, more wealth as well for everybody.
I think one of the things that's really important to remember is that Web 2 and Web 3, okay, these two concepts are arbitrary distinctions that we make and we create ourselves. They don't actually exist, okay? When you know somebody, like my mom is a Web 2 person, I am a Web 3 person. This didn't exist until, 5 years ago, right? She's still my mom. She still doesn't know what the hell crypto is, and she probably never will, but eventually she will use blockchain. Eventually she will use blockchain because all of the services in her life will use blockchain, not because of, sort of the blockchain tribalism, not because of the ivory tower nature of sort of crypto maxis who think that they're better because blockchain, but because it's as a tech layer, as a tech solution, it's simply superior to a lot of the things that are available. It's more robust, it's more anti-fragile, it's less dependent on centralization and things like that. And I think that in time, this is going to become more and more and more important. So what we're eventually going to have is, as you said, a convergence between Web 2 and Web 3, where eventually, you don't have Web 3 music fans and Web 2 music fans. You don't have Web 3 gamers and Web 2 gamers. You just have gamers and people who like music and people who like to watch things and people who like to learn and people who enjoy memes. I mean, like from a community perspective, 9gag, like you guys nailed that a decade and a half ago, like absolutely. And now there isn't, Web 2 meme people and Web 3 meme people. There's just people who like, frog art. And they happen to be in both places, but ultimately they're still the same people.
Yeah, I guess we're kind of in the final section here. I guess I'd love to go down line what your guys' future outlook is for whether it be your community, NFTs, etc. I mean, it probably applies to everybody a little bit differently. Like, is memes the future? Obviously, the memes are taking over. We got BRC20s, we got Solana even as well too. Love to hear like perspectives on the future outlook of either NFTs and communities. We can start with you.
What we learned from the previous cycle is that NFT only has no meaning for the users. So we focus more on developing contents and utility that we can use with this NFT. So for us to produce contents that users can enjoy, can maximize sales of NFT, and also the utility that from now this is governance DAO project, but we can develop a soul-bound token. You can it can be a certificate like Jess mentioned. So I think without utility or contents, I think users will not buy more NFTs as it was. Yeah.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And then to latch onto that, I think the ownership part, because everyone's talking about Chris's new book, like read, write, own, right? That distinct, the different stages of internet. I think the ownership part of the collective Web3 space we're sitting in right now has yet to be unlocked. Like the last cycle is about NFT, right? And this cycle, no one's talking about it. It's all about memes. Again, but the underlying technology that people can actually own a part of what they create, and by that nature create a much bigger modes of operating when it comes to the creative space has yet to be unlocked. Like how do you, for example, like produce a movie together, collectively owning an IP, and then maybe launch a Lego movie that we all own a part of it if we like. That has yet to be realized in our future, but that's something I'm quite bullish on. And I think Triple S and MODHAUS is doing something really creative about it. And Night Gag with the potato hats, I actually have one of those. It's super cute, right? And it's very uniting on this like APAC, whatever blob it is. Like I belong to one of it and I probably wear that. And it's something where the secondary like flip and dump market doesn't really capture that is a very human, emotional aspect of NFT. And that's something I'm bullish on.
I think you really hit it there, Jess, when you talk about this concept of identity being attached to community. From the earliest pieces of human history, identity and membership to a group has always been absolutely critical. Now, in many cases, that's a highly negative and highly divisive thing. I think that you can see in the world today how, there are various groups that are, in conflict with one another, and it's very much an us versus them thing. But I think that on the flip side of that, you can also have moments where that uniting identity becomes something that is profoundly positive. When you're going down the street and you see somebody, like if, ape follow ape, right? If you see somebody who has a jacket with an NFT that you have in your collection, you're like, oh, I know that person. And you have a sense of commonality. And I think that this is something that ultimately at the end of the day, we need to enhance and lean in on. We need to find ways to work together and find ways to simplify things. And it's not about whether you're a fan of this protocol or another protocol. If you like, this chain or that chain, doesn't matter. It's all just tech. Okay. Barring the Mac PC people, that's a whole separate conversation. But, nobody looks at, internet protocols and say, oh, I like TCP IP, I like Telnet. Pfft, nobody does that, right? And I think that getting away from that is something that's really important for us. And so we all need to recognize that we're all fans of blockchain. We're all fans of ownership. We're all fans of self-sovereignty. And ultimately, at the end of the day, that's what we need to lean in on.
I think you guys have covered almost everything. So I think for the community, actually still don't have a question to this, but I think maybe I got the inspiration from meme as well, how we can make Web3 more fun. Other than memes. That might be the only fun thing about Web3 at the moment. So, how can we get people, to enjoy this more, than just, technical documents like 100-page white papers. That will be something that we want to try out and see if we can do that with the community. Number two is, again, back to the public goods. So we are thinking more about some sustainable way to fund the community. So, right now, community is very loosely kind of maybe attached together because you guys maybe do some sort of crowd invest in some projects, I don't know, or like to share about this and that or share about this and that project. But honestly, I think community might bring some more values to it. I mean, if there's some way that even with public goods, for instance, that we can have more sustainable funding for the community, and that we can actually be more innovative in terms of getting people together, other than just, shilling about what's the next, 10x coin. That will be something that I see as a more sustainable community. And maybe after this, I would like to hear from Justin as well, because you haven't got to share what's your take on this as well.
Oh, in terms of communities, I moved to Asia like 5 months ago from the U.S., left the U.S., so I'm not bullish about the U.S. Web3, fully bullish on all Southeast Asia, as well as APAC, and just came back from Dubai as well, too, for that. I saw the shift from hosting a lot of events and communities as well. The negative sentiment that happened in across the board for North America, in my opinion, and the more bullishness, but also the more collaborative nature from like APAC DAO and the education side, the games, the memes, and then everybody over here as well too, all the builders and everybody here too. So it's just been super exciting the past like 5 months, a huge shift for that, and we're just excited on our side for Decentral to continue to build community across the board for each of the different regions. And I see everything moving super fast here, whether it be memes, gaming is leading the way again for both Southeast Asia and APAC. I'm just happy to be here and seeing how things are rapidly evolving while America is trying to figure out what to do with CZ and what to do with.
It's so embarrassing.
It's embarrassing, right?
It's so embarrassing. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah. So I think a lot of us left all that behind, sort of, at least for the Web3 side. And we're excited to just have this amazing stacked panel. Everybody share a lot of insights for that. And again, community is number one. I think all of us wouldn't be all here without everybody here in the crowd. And it's about just like collaborating, working together. So yeah, I think that's the end of our panel here. So everybody give them a round of applause.
Thank you.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.